My thanks go to the organizers of this peace symposium for inviting me to talk to you on the closing remarks. I'm so elated that one of the facilitators is my colleague, Senator Chief Mtshane. Sorry to call him Senator. Chief Mtshane. Traditional leaders have always been sidelined in such gatherings. Although dealing with the dead or the living, this affects the people living in their jurisdictions. I was also excited to meet with the academics. I don't know why they haven't been attending some of our seminars that we organize in Bulawayo, I think on 2 or 3 occasions before. But I'm very impressed about their presentations. Mr. Chairman, allow me to say there are more complex issues in honoring the dead and maybe than honoring the living. Although some people say they are on equal basis, but I think there are more problems in honoring the dead than the living. Because if you are living, you don't know what your dreams are. A society's well-being depends on ensuring that all members feel that they have a stake in it and don't feel excluded from mainstream society. What does that mean? In majority of cases, we come to conferences of this nature, and whatever we discuss ends up here. It never gets to the communities that we lead. And as a result, our communities lack what is expected of them. So I think it is important that when we organize such organizations, we endeavor to meet our communities at grassroots levels. I have a few questions here, but there are more questions than answers, I must admit. Unfortunately or fortunately, these questions I will raise cover most issues that Mr. Ngube raised yesterday, but I didn't share my notes with him. I must confess, he didn't see my notes, neither did I see his notes. The first question that I'm posing to you is, does the aggressor accept the responsibility for the deaths? I think you raised that from yesterday up to today, that will be a mammoth task for you to convince the aggressor to accept the responsibility. Will the victims achieve the sense of emotional closure? We are most likely going to go out into outreach program maybe early next year. But we don't know where we shall send the proceedings from there, but we believe since we're appointed by the president or given this responsibility by the president, whatever comes out of that, we shall send it to his office. Will the aggressor, he or she, I'm not sure whether they say he or she, be able to pay reparations? I have no answer to that. And I don't think we have the answer to that. As we stand now, I think if we had the answer to that, we should have told us. will identify the victims? That's another question which I have no answer to. Do the victims know the constitutional rights? We know that in Zimbabwe we adopted a constitution in 2013. Do they really know, those people who were affected by the Gukurahundi issue, do they really know their rights? What are their expectations? What are they expected to do after having been victimized, if they were victimized? And I think they were victimized. What is expected of them? Do they know their rights? I think it is important that our people also know the contents of our Constitution. I can't remember the section of the Constitution that requires us to go around and conscientizing our communities about the new Constitution. But how many people have gone out conscientizing our communities? I'm not sure if there are any, but if there are any, good luck to them. Can I, my eyes are getting as old as I am. Can I be allowed to use my glasses? I don't seem to be seeing what I've written here. Please allow me to use my glasses. Mr. Chairman, I'm very grateful to the facilitators who ran us through the last 2 days. And I think it will also be amiss if I don't thank the other participants who have been with us over those 2 days. As I was listening, I realized there are gaps that you want us as traditional leaders to follow up. And I'll promise that I'll raise them with my colleagues as and when we get back to Harare. But there's one step, I think, which we have achieved as traditional leaders. That is, we have involved all these members of the Chiefs Council in this Gukurahundi issue. We have 36 members in the Chiefs Council, and they've all been involved in this, in the Gukurahundi issue. You heard of the paper that we came up with some time, and that paper came out as a result of the Chiefs Council meeting. So we've really gone one step further on this exercise. We may have different approaches to this subject before us, but I believe the victims are waiting for whoever goes to them, as long as they are given a chance to express their views. I think it is important, and we kept on talking about it, that it's not us as traditional leaders or anybody who could go out on behalf of the traditional leaders or on behalf of anybody else to decide what the communities are going to say. I believe the people that were affected are the people who will tell us what is it that they want the perpetrator to do for them. It's either they will choose for development for the communities, or they will need some individual compensations. We don't know. So we do not ask to talk for them. We can only talk after they've given us their views. Mr. Chairman, I don't want to belabor you. Like I've said, you have said your views, but I'm only feeling bad about the academics now, because I think it's getting too late to invite them to our forum before we go out into the outreach program. But for civil society, we invited them on all those 2 occasions. And I think when we came up with our paper, they were also present. So they really are aware of our views, except for yourselves. But I think it is unfortunate now that we don't think we have enough time to accommodate you before we go out on our outreach program.